Hi, it's Rose. Welcome to my channel. Today I am here to show you just a quick thank you card using some wood-mounted stamps and a variety of supplies. So I'll start out by showing you what I'm going to be using to create the card. I'm going to be using some wood-mounted stamps, and they're by a company called Stamps by Judith and Heather. And they make a lot of stamps that can be used interactively. For example, they can, with the stamps, with the collection of stamps, you can make a variety of different scenes and designs. And so what I have here today are some of their stamps. These are called their stubby stamps, and it's a wood dowel that has the rubber stamp on the bottom, so you can stamp down like that. And they also have stick stamps that are thinner, smaller stamp, and there's the stamp on the bottom of that. So I'm going to be using this thanks stamp, a couple of little flower stamps, and a dot stamp. And then I'm also going to be using this little jar stamp and a little sprig stamp. And I'm going to be coloring the images in with some Tombow markers. So I have a couple of browns, and I have a couple of grays, and then a couple of blues, and then two greens. So I'll have the numbers for these Tombows in the description box. I'm also going to be using a Kaleidoscope rainbow pad. This one is Calypso. I'm going to be using Tuxedo Black by Memento, Versafine Onyx Black, and I'm going to be using Mini Distress Inkpad, and this is Pine Needles. So I still have, not a lot, but I still have some wood-mounted stamps in my collection that I use from time to time. I have converted over to a lot of just the red rubber. Now, the Stamps by Judith and Heather company also makes many of their stamps unmounted rubber if you don't like to have the wood, but their sticks and stubbies only come mounted on the wood blocks. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Tuxedo Black and I'm going to stamp out the little jar. And I'm going to put that aside. And then what I'm going to do is, rather than cut out a masking sheet, I'm just going to take a little card and just cover the top of the jar like that. So I can go ahead and take the little sprig stamp and stamp some of those so that they're peeking out of the jar. Then I'm going to take that little masking sheet, just put it to the side of the jar. And put one or two little sprigs there. So that's what I have so far. Now what I'm going to do is take a couple of the blues that I have, and I'm not going to do any really serious coloring here. I'm just going to sort of, with the side of the brush, just sort of move it over there along the bottom of the middle of the jar there, just to add what looks like some water in that jar. And then I'm going to add another color of blue. Like that. So no real serious coloring there. Now I'm going to take one of the grays and just sort of add a little bit of shading to the jar itself. And then a little bit deeper shade of gray. I'm just really touching where the lines are. Now I'm going to take one of the browns, the light brown here, and I'm going to just sort of ground the image a little bit here. Just so that our jar isn't floating in the air. And then I like to use more than one shade, so a little bit darker brown there. So I'm not using a lot of supplies, no great coloring, just a little bit down there for interest. Now what I'm going to do is open up my rainbow pad. And that's what that looks like. And I'm going to take one of the little flower stamps and just sort of randomly put down some flowers there. And then I'm just going to tap this off on the side here on some paper towel, and then I'll pick up one of the other colors. I'm not being very precise, as you can see, because the sprig stamp is just a little random in the leaves, so I don't have to be that exact. Now I'm going to go in with the other little flower stamp, and this one sort of looks like an open daisy, and I'll stamp a few of these. Just like that. So now I am going to put the rainbow pad aside, and I'm going to take out the Versafine Onyx because I just want to put a little quick sentiment here on this card. So I'm going to grab that Thanks stubby. I'm going to add that right there. Now the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little dot stamp and I'm going to go into the blue on the rainbow pad. And I'm just going to add some dots to sort of fill in the areas of the card that there really isn't anything there in the background, and it just sort of adds a little interest and adds a little bit more color. So that is the interactive card base. Now what I'm going to do here is I had some of these blank note cards that I picked up at Hobby Lobby, and I have mounted a little layering piece of red there. I'm going to just lay this right on the top, and I'm going to just tape that up. Grab my tape runner. And that is my little thank you card. So it sort of went together quick and easy. The inside, of course, I'm going to leave blank, but I'm going to make a few more of these and send them out to some friends. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.